Okay, we are recording, Pickle. Doesn't care. I look like the Cardinal Lion today. Very good, Natalie. Okay. I shall move my coffee. Hi everybody, welcome back to Laaleebee Knits. I hope you're doing well. My name is Natalie. I am a knitter from Belfast, Northern Ireland. And I come on here once every 2 weeks or so just to chat about what I've been knitting, what I've been getting up to. I live in Belfast with my other half Neil and my little schnauzer Henry. He's having a little snooze right now. Yeah. Hi, thanks for coming back if you're returning. Let's see, what's been going on in the last couple of weeks? I got over COVID, so that's good. And I've just been getting back to work. Work's been pretty busy. I work as a research fellow in a university in medieval studies. So at the minute I am editing a huge anthology of medieval religious texts. That's taking a lot of time right now. So yeah, last couple of weeks I've just been putting my head down, getting to work, knitting a good bit, and I've been hibernating through January, and I'm ready to get out of hibernation mode now. The evenings are getting a bit lighter, which is nice. After I record this, we're gonna take the little Pickle to a little forest walk, get some fresh air. Yeah, that's what's been going on. This weekend is a bit of a sad weekend for us. It's the anniversary of the death of my little cousin, Benjamin. Not to be a bit of a bummer, but he was 14 when he died in an accident while playing rugby. He used to play rugby for the school, and he got concussion and played on and got another concussion, and it's known as second impact syndrome. So yeah, my family's big on spreading concussion awareness, and my aunt and uncle, his mum and dad, worked tirelessly to get the message out that concussion should be taken seriously. And yeah, this is a sad week. It's sad all the time, and we miss him. But this weekend is just a little bit reflective. It was a very tough time for all of us, and yeah. So I think a wee bit of fresh air today will do me good, and we'll just remember Benjamin the way we do all the time, but especially at this time of year. So yeah, that's what's going on. No, might as well get into some knitting after that. I thought I had done a lot more knitting than I have. I thought I had loads and loads and loads, but I don't really. Well, maybe I do. I have been working through my whips, you'd be pleased to hear. So I finished this last time you saw it. This is my Alpenglow sweater by Andrea Murray. I still haven't blocked it, I'm terrible. This is my Alpenglow sweater. I knit this in Brooklyn Tweed Loft. My colours are cast iron, ember, tallow and camphor. And I love it. It's my second Brooklyn Tweed Loft sweater. And I love knitting with it. It's a little bit scratchy for me, but still wearable. So I have quite a lot of leftovers. I was talking about this last time. And I'll chat about my plans for those because some people give me some really good suggestions. But this is my Open Glow, which I love. It does need to be blocked. I will get around to it. So I've been working through my WIPs, and I'm also joining in on quite a few little longs, mostly held by the Grocery Girls because I love the Grocery Girls. And I knit a full pair of socks. I found some magenta yarn in my stash. I don't think I had these cast on the last time I spoke to you. I found some magenta yarn in my stash. The Grocery Girls hold a sock bash knit along where you knit one pair of socks within the month, and every month has a theme. And if you knit to the theme, you get a double entry. And their theme this month was Viva Magenta, the Pantone colorway, for the year. And these are deep stash. So these are knit out of Giddy Aunt yarns. The main colour is called Biscuit. And the little heel is called Moody Ruby. And I think I knit my gran some socks before Christmas in Moody Ruby. Don't know if I showed those or not. But this pattern is called My Cup of Tea. This is the third or fourth time that I've knit these. And it's a free pattern on Ravelry. Pickle, could you stop chewing your paw? Okay, leave it alone. Leave it alone. No, it's just going ham. Are you finished? Trickle. No, still working away. Alright, that's enough now. Anyway, these are the My Cup of Tea socks. Free pattern on Ravelry. You have to concentrate the whole way through it. But I love it. I love these. So I think I knit 10 of these repeats in total for my size. And I picked up I knit an extra 2 rows on my heel just to give myself a little bit more room here. And these will work for sock bash entry. So that's two full pairs of socks that I've got for January, which is nice. And I love these so much. They're beautiful. All biz about those. So that's my first finished object. Second finished object is another pair of socks. This has been in... No, this wasn't in... Was this in stash? I had these cast on and they were kind of my... oh, I should put them on the sock blockers. I had these cast on. And they were kind of my cinema knitting because it was just plain knitting. But then it was annoying me that they were sitting there for so long. So I just took them out and knit them and finished them. And it feels good to get them off the needles because I was starting to get sick of the yarn. But let me put these on these sock needles. Very, you know, if there's an awkward way to do something that way, you will do it. I got some new sock blockers from Loop London. I can't remember what the brand is of these, but new sock blockers. These were my little vanilla knit socks. I had them cast on for so long. I knit my granddad a pair out of this yarn, so this is the leftovers. This is West Yorkshire Spinners in, I want to say something like Winter Icicle, something like that. I knit my granddad a pair. So I knit a full men's size pair and a pair for me out of that one skein of yarn. And added a little Coop Knits mini to it. So I have a little matching pair of socks with my granddad. So that's cute. With these ones, I did a bigger heel. I don't have another pair to show you, but I had been watching the Chronicles of Yarnia podcast with the ladies from Montclair's local yarn store. And Jen had been doing some sock heel experiments in an episode from, I think, 2021. And she said one of the better fitting afterthought heels was, instead of cutting across 32 stitches on a 64 stitch sock, she does 10% more. So instead of 32, I did 42 stitches, which basically gives me a bigger heel to decrease along. Don't know if you can see. Yeah, you can kind of see that the heel comes up here. This bit's narrower to go across the top of my foot. Gives you a bit more room in the gusset. And my god, they fit so much better. They really do. I must have a really high instep. Because these fit much better than my normal afterthought heel where you just do it across half the stitches. It just gives you more room here. So if you look at traditional heel flap and gusset, this fits me quite well because look at all this room I have here for my wee chubby foot to fit in. Well, we're getting something similar with this one. So I did it as a little experiment just to see if it would fit better, and it does. So that's another little finished object for me. How many pairs of socks is that in January? 3? I actually need a new box of socks. I have a box from TK Maxx downstairs that I keep all my hand knit socks in and it's full. So I need a new box. So I've been on a little sock kick. And while I was on my sock kick, I finished off a pair for Neil. My granny knit these tubes and I added in, this is before I did my little experiment with my heel. But these are bigger. There's more stitches on these socks. These are for Neil. They're a little bit snug because my gran's gauge is tight and I should have given her a bigger needle size. This is, I don't know what yarn this is. It's not West Yorkshire Spinners. It's a commercial yarn and I got it, I think, from Lovecrafts. What is it? It's not Paintbox and it's not West Yorkshire Spinners. It's the other commercial one that they do. It's not Regia. Is it Regia? Might be Regia. It might be an Anna and Carlos one, you know. Sorry that I've no more info on that. I really should look it up. But she knit them so long ago and the tubes have been sitting for a long time. So I just popped the heels on, popped the toes on, and I folded the cuff. And I sewed it, kitchened it really loosely so that it's not too tight for him. So there's Neil's 5th pair of socks. Lucky Neil. Yeah. Do you know, one of the things about Sock Bash and trying to knit for Sock Bash is that you have to start it at within that month. And when it came to, today is what, the 29th? So when it came to this last week in January, I was like, oh, I really want to knit. I want to cast on more socks. I want to cast something new on. But it wouldn't count towards Sock Bash. And I knew that I would set it to the side in favour of a sock that will count for Sock Bash in February. So I just picked up, I was very good, and I picked up old projects and started finishing some of those whips off. Some of my 17 whips, I am slowly working my way through them. So in that vein, another sock tube that my gran had knit, these are actually going to be for gran, is this one. This is West Yorkshire Spinners and this is called Wildflower. Like, this is the whole tube, like this is the whole skein, and it's ridiculous, like it's this but doubled, and it is ridiculous. However, she likes really long socks. She gets really chilly. So these are for gran. It's West Yorkshire Spinners. Colour I think is Wildflower. Got a little yellow toe, and we're just waiting for the heel for these, and they will be done for gran. And I have to take her to a hospital appointment tomorrow, so maybe I'll sit tonight and get those done for her so that she'll have them for tomorrow. So, I've got my little mini left. My heels usually take just over maybe 3.1 grams of yarn for my heels, afterthought heels that are knit over 32 stitches. The bigger ones, they take 8 grams, so there's a lot more room in those. So that's how I gauge whether I have enough yarn or not for my afterthoughts. Usually a 20-gram mini is enough for at least heels and toes. But I did use this in a sock last year, the year before, so it was leftovers, but I should have enough to finish off Gran's little socks, so that'll be my knitting for today. I'll get those done. I'm knitting those on a 2.25. I think Gran knit them on, must have been a 2.25 as well. She's a very tight knitter. Let me have a little sip. I am charging through these today. So yeah, lots and lots of socks. No jumpers finished, but I do have some more whips. I have a new cast on. Let me find my pattern title for you. This is called the Spur Hat, but I think it's they give a pronunciation guide. Pronounced Spur in German. It's probably not pronounced like that in German, but this is the Spur Hat by Hiromi Nagasawa. My apologies, Hiromi, if I've butchered your name. This is a fingering weight hat, and it really caught my eye because I just thought that looks absolutely fabulous. There's 3 different types of ribbon in it. And I'm knitting this out of Giddy Aunt yarns again, some stash yarn. This is called either Flora or Fauna. I can't quite remember which one. But there's like little taupey. It's taupe as well as this nice magenta. So this is my hat so far. I'll show you what, did I show what it looked like? I don't think I did. Maybe I did. I'll show you again. This is what it's going to look like. Now I think she used a much toothier yarn than I'm using. I'm using the superwash merino nylon, but here we go. Look at the pull-in on this. That's nice, isn't it? So we do, I don't want to give the pattern away, but you do one type of ribbon here, then do another type of ribbon here to cinch it in, and then it's brioche knitting. I've never knit brioche in the round. I've only ever knit brioche flat on Andrea Mari patterns. Actually, I have a brioche pattern here. This is one of the other brioche patterns I've done. This is the Rena shawl by Andrea Mari. So I've only ever done brioche in this kind of flat construction. So this is the first time doing brioche in the round. I'm doing one colour. And I love it. I love how squishy brioche gets. I love knitting brioche. If you're frightened of brioche, don't be. Andrea Mari has really great patterns on brioche knitting. And actually knitting with 2 colours is easier to learn brioche than knitting with the 1 colour. So I'm glad that I have that experience of knitting the Rena shawl, because it's made this brioche very easy indeed. But it's just interesting how we've got different ribbon structures. This was a lot of knitting, because fingering weight yarn and knitting all that ribbon, you know, that's a lot. So this, I've knit the large size. I've cast on the large size because I have a big old head. I don't know if I'll keep it. We'll see. I feel like I don't suit hats. And and one of my friends would suit it much better, maybe. But we'll finish it off, see what it's like, I'll block it, and then see what I think. This little progress keeper is from Tweed Print, and I got it from Botanical Yarns. So that's cute. Yeah. So I cast this on 2 nights ago, and that was pretty much a day's worth of knitting. We did nothing yesterday. We stayed in bed, and I knit, and Neil read comics, and we watched Silent Witness, and it was great. I needed a little cozy bed, but I think that's probably why I'm done with hibernating. I've had my fair share of hibernating, and now it's time to give myself a shake. So that is a new little whip that I've been working on. That the Crochet Girls are doing another knit along, where you knit accessories from your stash, and that one would count if I'm in the time frame for it. So I'll have to check that. But they're doing lots of knit alongs, and I have something for every one of them. So that's my most recent whip, my newest whip. I have also been trucking away on this project. This is my Delicue bag. That again, I think I got that from Botanical Yarns. Goodbye, Henry. We're going. He's decided to watch as an audience member rather than sit with me. Anyway, this is my Birkin sweater. Here, come here and I'll set this for you. Here, put your head down. Hi. Okay? Thank you. Thank you, good boy. Now put your head down. He's just gonna take my... Right. Enough. I have a little frog in my throat today. Okay, this is a little coffee break while Henry digs for treasure in my rug. Pickle. Come on. He settled himself. Okay. This is my Birkin sweater. I cast this on with leftovers last year, like early last year. The main colour is again Giddy Ants. I am representing Giddy Ant Yarns today. In their Black Currant Jam colourway. It's looking very pink on screen. It's a much deeper purple in real life. Yeah, these are all little scrappy colours. I've no idea what they are. They were little leftovers. And I put it away because I got really sick of it. This is I don't know why I got sick of it. This is the second one that I've knit. And I loved the colour work. And then I got bored of doing the stockinette. Well, anyway, I picked up my sleeves and I've been knitting away on my sleeves. So this has been my vanilla knitting rather than those socks that I finished. So I've been knitting away my sleeves. I have a long way to go. But yeah, I'm keeping it in my living room, and when I'm sitting there and I have to read something or I have a board meeting to be in, I will pick this up and knit some rows. So it will get done today. Do you know what? It'll not get done today, it'll get done this year. There'll come a time where I'm like, I just need to finish that, and then I will power through it. But until then, I'm happy just putting in a couple of little rows here and there on it. I love this colour. I really love this colour. And it is my second jumper in this colour. So the yarn I bought for it initially was for a wool and honey sweater, and it was one of the first sweaters that I'd knit. And I don't know how much yarn to buy, so I just bought a lot and got 2 jumpers out of it, so that's good. So that's living in my Delicue bag, and that lives downstairs in the living room. I just put this little velvet ribbon around it because it matches Oh my god, that's so good. So, I've been trucking away on that. Now that was instead of casting on a new jumper. I'm being very good. I will accept praise in the comments, and everybody's so supportive and nice in the comments. So yes, I will be accepting well done Natalie's in the comments. Okay, the last project that I've been putting a little bit of love into is my what is this? What the Fade shawl. What are you? This is the shawl that I keep upstairs when I need to I want to just grab some knitting and do something without thinking about it. My jumper is the one for downstairs and this is the one for upstairs. So this is an Andrea Mowry pattern. Doesn't fit on my needles anymore. This is What the Fade. No. This is the second What the Fade I've knit. And I did the same thing with the first one. I started with a colour that does not fade. And it annoys me every time I look at it, but so much knitting has gone into this shawl that I'm not pulling it out. Even though, why did I do that? Anyway, this is my What the Fade shawl. It's a mixture of brioche and garter stitch, and I'm now on garter. There's lots of different yarns in this. Birch Street yarn, chicken fibre, I think this one's botanical yarn or pixie yarn. It's pixie yarn. There's lots. I have a project pattern for this, a project page for this on Ravelry, and the last time I showed it on the podcast was there. That's not very much. Why do I keep showing it with not very much progress? I'm slowly getting there. I forgot how long it takes to do. And I lost my first one. Someone is running around with a beautiful hand knit shawl. And when I see them walking around Belfast, I'm going to be like, excuse me, that is my shawl. How dare you steal that from me? I don't think it was stolen. I think I left it on the bus or something and somebody's thought that it's not a hand knit precious item. It's my own fault. So I've been knitting my way through it. My favourite part about knitting this is finishing off a scraggly ball cake of yarn like this, where it's just turned into yarn barf, and knitting it into a nice fresh new cake. I feel like I should have probably gone up a needle size with this, because some people knit them and they're enormous, and I also never use nearly the same amount of yarn as is called for in the pattern. I don't bother checking my gauge because it's a shawl, like I can block it out, and it's a big shawl anyway. But if I ever knit it again, I'll have to remember to go up a needle size. Oh, see, this is my jam. This is like purples and pinks. It's just soft, beautiful colours. I love these colours. And I love that little blip, that's chicken fibre. Just a little vibrant burst of colour through it. Gorgeous. So this was a real stash buster. I picked 6 skeins out of my stash and started to work away. Really good stash buster. And it would actually be quite nice in minis as well. You don't have to fade it. But it is it's really, it keeps your attention with the brioche. And then you get into the garter stitch and it's really rhythmic, but it takes a long time to grow because you're adding 4 stitches on every 2 rows. So it's huge. There's Neil rumbling the bins. I'll just pause for that. What do you see? You can't even hear him rumbling the bins. I feel like I fired through that today. Okay. So I've been very disciplined in January and have only bought 2 skeins of yarn. One of them is on the way. I signed up to the Beehive Yarns new club new monthly club subscription that they are sending out, and the first one I think is in the post, or will be in the post by the end of the week, and should be here next week sometime. So that one's still in the post. I haven't received that yet. And then the other skein of yarn I bought was intentional. So my New Year resolution is to only buy yarn if I have a specific project in mind for it. Otherwise, I really want to use up stash. So for patterns that I see, especially like that little hat, I saw that pattern, I was like, I really want to knit that. I have a beautiful stash of yarn. Let's dig in and see what I have. Neil's already requested a black version of that hat, and I'm pretty sure I have black yarn in there. But, so I'm sticking to my New Year's resolution, and I knew that I needed yarn. I talked about this briefly last week. I'm going to make the new Le Garçon coil for myself, and I showed you my colours. Might change this out now that I'm thinking about it, because I have another set of minis that would look nicer with it. But for now, if I change it out, it'll be like a warmer, like cream colour. But these are the minis that I've selected. I think you need 10. This is the vibe, and then the others are like darker versions of this. So it's like a little chevron colourwork pattern, I think. So this is my little colour palette, which I love. And I talked about it in a bit more detail last time. But I knew that I needed something to go inside the coil. So this coil they've done a few like this. Maxim Sear designed one I knit for my granda called the Snuggle is Real, where you knit a coil and then you knit a lining for inside it in something, and I did grandas and mohair. The pattern calls for suri, but I was online and I was on the Loop London website, which is one of my go-to smaller yarn businesses that I order from. They have such good customer service. I really like ordering from them, and I've visited them a few times, and they're lovely in there. And I spotted this Ching fibre cashmere and silk. Now, did I think it was a 50-gram skein? Yes, I did. Was it the price of what I expected a 50-gram skein to be? Yes, it was. It was pricey. The colourway is Antique Rose. It was pricey. But it is cashmere and silk. And it's going to go inside my coil. And it's gorgeous. And I think I have enough. It's lace weight. I didn't even check there's 300 meters on this. So I'm sure that's plenty for it. Just feels so beautiful. I'm excited for the coil. So that was my little treat to myself. I've been very good about purchasing yarn. So yeah. This wouldn't count in the Grocery Girls Knit Along because it's not from Stash. The others are from Stash. We'll see. I just can't stop being like, oh, it's gorgeous. So yeah. I've never knit with cashmere. I think I've knit with there's a little bit of cashmere in that dark colour in my What the Fade shawl, which is why I put that dark colour in. But that's a cashmere blend. I've never knit with cashmere and silk. It's very luxurious. It just feels so beautiful. So I'm very excited to cast that on. And I didn't want to cast it on until I had shown you in my lovely little skein that project. So that's all of my knitting that I have to share. So I've been talking a lot about the Grocery Girls and their knit-alongs. They have one more knit-along called the Raglan knit-along, where you pick a raglan pattern and you knit a sweater with it. And I've been thinking about, I talked last week about how I want to use my leftovers of the Brooklyn Tweed, and I had a lot of good suggestions. Somebody said that they think I probably don't have enough of one colour to have like a main colour, which I think is right. But I think I'm just going to do a striped raglan. I was watching their last podcast and Jodie had a beautiful striped sweater on. And I love the Jessie May Designs cozy classic raglan. I've knit it so many times in the fingering weight and in the DK. And last time I knit the DK weight pattern, I used a sport weight yarn. I used the John Arbin Pink Moon, if you remember in my early podcasts. I used that and then gave a really airy, beautiful gauge to the jumper. And I think I might do the DK weight for the Brooklyn Tweed. Even though the Brooklyn Tweed is supposedly a fingering weight yarn, I feel like it knits up as a sport weight gauge. So I might do some swatching and cast that on for that knit along. So I have some plans for new cast-ons that are using stash, which I'm very pleased about. And I did cast this off. My rule was cast off one jumper and cast on another, and I haven't cast on another to replace this one yet. So technically I'm behind on my new jumpers, or the jumpers that I can knit. Never mind that I have 2 still on the needles. But I'm working through them. Mohair and I are taking a break. My diaphanous raglan is in timeout because I can't, I have to be in a very specific state of mind to knit mohair on its own, because it's like knitting with hair. My hair is literally the texture of mohair, and I don't have the patience today for it. I feel like that as well is going to be a right, I need to knit this and get this done type of project. I need to have like laser focus on that. It's not something I can just pick up and do because I don't enjoy it. I love how it looks, and I'm gonna love having the jumper to wear, but I do not enjoy knitting mohair on its own. Goodbye, little hen. What doing? Did you hear that sigh? Please don't dig. No. No digging. Come on, you up and get comfy coats. This dog is the sassiest dog. What are you doing, fella? Come on. Here. Lie on my beautiful hand knit shawl. Aye. That's what you wanted. Cool. Aye, just you get comfy cozy there. He's a spoiled wee dog. What was I saying? Yes, so I'm gonna knit cozy classic raglan, I think, with that yarn. What other plans have I got? I was watching that Grocery Girls episode, and Tracy has this beautiful red and pink striped cozy classic raglan, and it is so gorgeous. And I really want one. I really want a red, like a bright red, but not, it's bright red, but it's not, oh, well, you know, if I knit my spring sorrel that I planned, then it'll be red. Yeah. So those are all my knitting plans. The theme for February Sock Bash is knitting a pattern from a new designer, or a designer that's new to me. So I need to go and have a little look through some designers and see if I can find anything new. If you have any suggestions for sock designs that I haven't really mentioned on the podcast and don't really know about, that would be great. I'd love to hear. I know what yarn I'm going to do. I have a pink and a red set aside for this sock bash. Yeah, I think that's everything knitting wise. I finished my gigantic book, The Executioner's Song. That was hard going. That was hard going. Actually, it was easy to read, but by the end of it, I was like, "Sir, like, I've heard enough of you, this brutal murderer." So I finished that. I was going to do the Agatha Christie read along. The company behind Agatha Christie's estate, Agatha Christie Limited, I believe, have a read along every month where they pick a specific book for you to read, and this month's was Sad Cypress, and I downloaded the audiobook from Audible and I started to listen to it. It was John Suchet was doing the narration, and it was easy to listen to until an Irish character came on and he started doing this Irish brogue, and I couldn't listen to it. It was so terrible, and I kind of listened to it and was like, oh, this is not good. But then I just kind of was like, just persevere. I could not. I could not. So I returned that, and I'm going to download that on my Kindle and read through that very quickly before the end of January, which is in 2 days. So I shall have my work cut out with me for that, but I do want to read the story. I just can't listen to John Suchet do a terrible Irish accent. It's not for me. I think that's enough rambling from me. Thank you very much for joining us. This little pickle is not going to know what hit him when we drag him out to a forest. He's like, Sundays for snoozing. But anyway, thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have a good couple of weeks. I hope you have lots of knitting in your life. And I will see you next time.